So welcome to the first ever Practical Magic Monday with me, Kate Taylor, creativity and empowerment coach. And my sole mission here is to help you to live a creative life on your own terms, whatever that means to you, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in your business, whether it means that you're stuck and you want to get back into flow again. I am here to help you because I recognize that life can be tough sometimes. It can be overwhelming. It can be confusing. We can get confused with a million different things going on all the time. And what I'm here to do is to help you make a bit more sense out of things, to get empowered, to bring a bit more practical guidance as well as some magic into your life. And doing that through these videos, so you get a bit of the work that I do in my role in my life as a creativity and empowerment coach. And so to just give you a quick bit of a background before we kind of go into what we're going to do in these videos in terms of the work that I do. So as a creativity and empowerment coach, essentially I'm a life coach, but what I do is I help you to live a creative life on your own terms. And what I mean by that is that essence of when you're living life to your own beat. You know, when you're out of a life of stuck and into flow, when you are living a life that isn't one of grey, that isn't one full of the things that we feel like we should be doing on a daily basis, but when we're really tuned into ourselves and putting the oxygen mask on for ourselves and living a life that feels like ours, full of like technicolor magic and getting onto that dance floor and really rocking it, because you know that's the life lived, right? We want to be one where we're going out in style from our rocking chairs going, well, that was one hell of a ride. And so I recognize that there's things that we can be doing in our day-to-day lives which will help us to get there. And so what I'm going to do in each of these videos is I'm going to bring in the tools that I use, which I call practical magic. So what is practical magic? So it's a kind of blended melting pot of the modalities that I've trained in, including life coaching. I'm also a master NLP practitioner, so neuro-linguistic programming. I'm a hypnotherapist. I teach a movement practice called Koya. But essentially, you know, regardless of all of the tools that I've got, what practical magic is helping with some of the practical planning, some of the day-to-day tools that we can use from a coaching perspective, so the practical elements of it, alongside how we tune into this incredible vessel that we've got called our body and our mind, to be able to work with some of the things that we can't see, yet we need to tune into to get to the real truth of who we are, which will help us in terms of some of those practical things moving forward. So if you think of it like head and body and mind all working together in great synchronicity to get you tuned into your vision for what you want to achieve, how you're going to achieve it, and the best way to get there, supporting the whole you. Because when we start supporting the whole us, it becomes a whole lot easier in terms of the plans that we make, but also looking out for the people that we care about the most as well, to make sure we're in line with ourselves and we're looking out for those people too, so everything works in and around. So what I'm going to be doing in these videos each week is that I'm going to give you a practical magic tool to work with for the week. So it might be a visualization exercise, it might be a meditation, it might be a movement, or it might be a coaching question which will give you something to work on and a structure to work on in the week. The idea is that these tools are yours. You can take them away. You can work with them at any time that you want to. You can work with them when you're sitting on the bus. You can work with them when you're in the office. You can work with them when you've got 5 minutes peace to yourself. And I invite you for these videos to give yourself the gift of a bit of space to be able to tune into what really creative living is for you and using the head and the body together. So give yourself some space, gift yourself some space as we go through an exercise each week. So that's the introduction. Let's get started. Today, we're going to start with something really simple, but it's all about kind of using what are called the three brains in the body. Now, the three brains, I went on a yoga nidra training course this weekend. It was incredible. And it's all of the work that I already do with, NLP and hypnotherapy, but it's in the power of rest. But what we were talking about yesterday in the training was the three brain centers we've got in our body, which is our head, our heart, and our gut. Okay, so if you're anything like me, you can be very head-based. This is kind of like the practical of the practical magic. Head-based is logic, it's planning, it's getting shit done, it's all of those things that we think we should be doing, so we plan it all out, we like go for it great guns, but then something stops us. And often what happens is we're disconnected from the rest of ourselves. So in this fine vessel that we've got, we are both head and body. Yet in the world that we live in, we tend to be very head-based. So we're running around thinking our way through things when actually we forget to tune into our heart and our intuition. So the brain is one brain. The heart is another brain. It's where our insight and our knowledge. So our knowledge sits within the heart space. It's where we feel into things. And then going into the gut, so gut is where instinct lives. And actually the gut, if you know anything about gut health and what goes on in the gut, so much in here. We've got millions of brain cells in our stomach area. So what we're going to do today is we're going to work with the three brain centers of our body to tune in. So let's think about setting some intentions for the week ahead and what you want to achieve, okay? What we're going to do is that we're going to use the three brain centers to tune into them. So they're going to help us with that intention and the goals for the week ahead. So I invite you to take a deep breath and close your eyes. Wherever you are, just come into a focus of attention on your body. You could be seated, you could be standing, you could be laying down. Either way, just come into attention on your body and your breathing and being exactly where you are right now. So take a breath in through the nose and send it down through the base of the spine. Nice inhale all the way down the base of the spine, and then as you exhale all the way up to the top of the spine. Should take about 6 seconds. Inhaling 6 seconds, exhaling 6 seconds. Just awareness up and down the spine. Just enjoy getting into this rhythmic flow of breath. Now what you're going to do is just send awareness to your stomach area. And we're going to do some visualization work, but if you're not a visual person, do not worry at all. If you're not a visual person, we just invite you to feel into each of the movements that we're going to do in the three brains. So, taking awareness now to your stomach. And just imagine that you can send your breath around your stomach area. And just imagine that you can see a colour going around the stomach area. This is just sending intention and sending energy to this space. There's no way you can do it wrong. So whether you can see something or you can feel something or even maybe hear something, it's all your experience. Or maybe nothing at all. That's okay. Trust that the body will still do what the body needs to do. So sending awareness and attention to this area, tune into what it feels like in the body in terms of what your instinct is for the week ahead. What is your gut telling you about the week ahead? Anything might come in, and nothing might come in. It's totally fine. The body is doing what it needs to do. Just be there with that. This might happen in the exercises that we do. It might happen afterwards. It's all good. Now moving up to the heart space. This wonderful area of knowledge that we have in our body by tuning into the heart. So just move your awareness and your attention up to your heart space. And what is it? Just asking yourself the question and asking your heart to give you an answer of what is it that I need to know about this week in terms of things I might need to do or things I might not need to do, things I might be able to let go of. What's the knowledge that I can gain from this week and tuning in? Again, whatever comes through, there might be colours, you might get words, you might get an insight, you might get nothing. That's okay. The body will still be doing the work. Now moving up to the third brain, our physiological brain, to the head space. You might notice how that's represented, whether it's represented in a colour, whether it's represented in a shape. Just be aware and notice what you notice. Now up here, the question is, what's the insight that I can gain for the week ahead? What's the insight? What do I need to know? Just be with that. Again, it might come up as a representation of an object, a colour, another question, or a word. It doesn't always have to make sense. You can take any insight that you get and you can write it down and you can journal with it. You can sit with it. Just see what comes up for you. So we're going to send some gratitude to each of the three brains for helping us to guide and align what we need for the week ahead. And this is the first of the Practical Magic Monday videos. I'll be here again next week and we're bringing another tool, another guidance. It might be a practical tool, it might be another visualization, it might be a movement. I'd love to hear how you get on. So please do leave me anything that's come through for you in the comments or anything that you feel that you might like to have some questions answered. I will do my best. It's been so wonderful sharing this with you and I look forward to seeing you again next week. See you soon.